Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today we get to take a look at the all-new 2025 BMW M5. This model's finished off in Merino Bay Blue Metallic. MSRP is just shy of $140,000. So we have a lot to go over in today's review. This is also now strictly a plug-in hybrid. So that port is over on the driver's side where you can charge that and plug it in. This is also powered by the 4.4 liter twin turbo V8 that is paired to the 8-speed automatic. It pumps out 717 horsepower, 738 pound-feet of torque. That power sent through the xDrive all-wheel drive system, where this also has all-wheel steering, propelling this 5,400-pound sedan from 0 to 60 in 3.4 seconds. Top speed is 190, and you can also go right around 25 miles on just the EV system alone. Now, as we work our way to the exterior styling, much different than the previous generation. Still retains the kidney grille, which has the illuminating light. There's the sensor, forward-facing camera, plenty of cutouts as well. There's also a dark housing for all the LEDs up front, more gloss black in the lower section with parking sensors, and then tons of inlets with this squared off design to provide a lot of cooling. There's also some really cool lines that go off of the grille down the hood towards the windshield there. Now, as we work our way to the side, this has a staggered setup for the wheels. This model also features the carbon ceramic brakes, which is really neat. It also has the carbon fiber package, so you'll notice that on the mirror caps, where there's the camera and the turn signal. Those are power folding too. There's carbon fiber up top, and then all of the window trim is gloss black to give it a great look. There's also some nice definition in the lower side skirt there, as well as the rear fender arch just behind that door. And then in back, there's more carbon fiber for the spoiler. There's the backup camera, the LED taillights, all of the parking sensors with gloss black, and that quad tip dual exhaust. Now, as we work our way to the cargo space, you can use the button on the key fob. You can also use the button on the key fob for the remote start. So you can turn this on and shut it off. You still get a good bit of space in the rear cargo. I believe that most of the hybrid system is under these areas here. That's why there's no storage there anymore. There's no storage or spare underneath, and you can also fold down the back seats. So you still have a practical amount of space for this family style sedan. And then you have the controls up top to close and lock that. Now, you'll also notice too that M5 is just behind the windows there, and we have that flush mounted design for the door handles. Now, for the windows, there's the sunshades, which are adjustable. You have the two-tone design for the interior. There's Bowers & Wilkins for the audio, tons of storage down below, and then the two-tone design for the seats. Now, at 5'10", I have plenty of space. There's also an area where you can attach and charge tablets. There's vents in the middle. You have another LCD screen for your heated seats, fan speed, temperature, where you'd like the air to go. There's also the armrest with cup holders in the middle, and you can even fold down this middle seat too. There is a rear sunshade in the back, and then there's Alcantara for the headliner. Definitely a nice place to be for your backseat passengers. Up front, there's ambient lighting for the door panels. So you'll notice that, where there's also the memory seating adjustments. You have more controls to go in that, lock and unlock, mirror adjustments, window controls, trunk release is located down below. And then a really nice two-tone design for these seats. Now, we have the leather steering wheel with that flat bottom design, massive paddle shifters. There's M1 and M2. We'll start this back up to go over the rest of these. Cruise control settings on the left. Right side, you have volume, music, Bluetooth and voice commands, and then you have a shortcut to go through the LCD screen. So you have quite a lot that you can go through, just depending on what you would like to see here. You have a bunch of vitals, your drive modes, navigation. You can even pull up the augmented reality. So that's that forward camera, which is going to be a little bit more beneficial at night. And then you even have a lap timer too, and you can scroll over to the head-up display. So you can go through all of that information. Now, you have some air vents on this side with those adjustments. There's more carbon fiber, fuel cap release, all of your headlight adjustments. And then with the infotainment system, you have all these shortcuts down below. You can get into your lap timer, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, your interior lighting. You have a lot. There's also the home screen, so you can go through all these widgets as needed. You can customize them too. There's your climates, along with navigation and music, and then heated and ventilated seats, heated steering wheel, and the temperature adjustments. There's more ambient lighting underneath that. You have a lot of storage with cup holders, more lighting, auxiliaries. There's even the shortcuts for that screen too, so you don't have to use it as a touchscreen system. You have volume and tuning. If you go into M mode, you can actually change the gauge cluster and the head-up display, so a little bit more sporty information. There's also M hybrid, so you can go from controlling the battery, where that's saving it using the engine, you have full EV, and then a few settings with the combined to get maximum power. You have a setup control. This is for M1 and M2, so you can go through all of these settings and have them configured, basically shortcuts for the steering wheel depending on how you'd like to drive. There's traction control, shortcut to the camera system. This is how you can put it into reverse, where you get the 360 view. You have a lot of different angles here, and then you can even have the forward-facing camera too when you put the vehicle into drive. Now there's no park, so simply just push on the e-brake. Auto hold is behind that. You have space down in the glove box there, as well as in the glove box and the armrest. You have more carbon fiber, garage door buttons up top, and then some dome lights too. And then here's a look at visibility over both shoulders. It's pretty easy to see. So without that camera system, you have quite a lot of visibility. So we are in Dynamic Plus, second gear. Here we go. And just a mild acceleration up to speed. This has so much more potential than what I'm doing today. But we were able to have the BMW M3 competition for an entire week, and we did a lot more driving behind the wheel for that model to really test its performance. So with the M5 having a significantly more power and performance, I can only imagine really ripping on this and seeing what it's like. Now, this is what it's like to be behind the wheel, and we have a lot of different driving characteristics to go through with this model. As far as setting up M1 and M2, all of the hybrid system settings, which is really nice to be able to go through. Now with the hybrid system too, this is something that a lot of people are either 50-50 on or completely don't like. And I can see that a lot of people with the plug-in hybrid are saying it's kind of lost some of its enthusiast drive with that. But I would kind of go on the other side of that and say you're getting a lot more technology features now while still retaining that driver enthusiast car. A lot of the plug-in hybrid and hybrid technology was introduced in a lot of high-performance supercars, Ferrari, McLaren, vehicles like that were, much more expensive. This is still an expensive vehicle, and obviously you can get other plug-in hybrids that cost significantly less. But with this model here, you get a little bit of the benefits with that hybrid system and getting a lot more power. Now, some of the downsides would be you have an increased weight, of course, versus the non-hybrid. But honestly, I mean, even going around a turn like that at some normal speeds here, at least for the driving that I'm doing on these normal roads, it doesn't seem like it is going to affect it. Now, obviously it weighs a lot more, so if you're out on the track or you're really doing some more performance style driving, you will see some differences there. But on roads like this, it seems to be at least fine for the daily driving most people are going to do. With the hybrid system too, you do have the battery, so at some point those might have to be replaced at some point, which I think will be a lot easier than having a full EV. So I do like the technology with the hybrid system more than just going full EV. So at least we don't have that for this. We still have some electric 5 Series, but you still get the V8, you still have a driver enthusiast model, you just have a little bit more weight and that hybrid system too. But I think there's some benefits to it. Another downside, I will say, I own a plug-in hybrid X5, and the only thing that I really don't like about it is that you do have to keep the battery charged. Now, you can charge it while driving, however, it's not really going to get it to its full potential every time you go out for a drive. So you do have to plug it in. You can't just leave it unplugged in and rely on the vehicle to charge it. So you do have to plug it in, and you can just use a 3-prong outlet. So you don't have to get a fancy charger to install in your house. I just plug it into a normal wall outlet. It's fully charged in the morning. So you have to do that periodically throughout a month, or all the time, but at least in a month, do it every so often, so that way you can keep that battery maintained and going through its cycles. But this is definitely a fun vehicle to drive. It's a 5 Series, so it's going to be luxury focused, but still give you the performance. So as we come up to this turn in the opposite direction now, just going at a normal speed here, I mean, for what people are going to do on a daily basis, I don't think it really hurts at all. We still have some quick numbers for the added weight too. And you have a good bit of space for this, so it's definitely going to give you a nice comfortable ride. You still get all of that performance, you get some added benefits, you get this new technology here. Every time BMW comes out with a change, people are always not a fan, I guess. A lot of people are. There's a wait list for this, so they're still hard to get, even though they just came out. But BMW, I'm sure, will change it again, and we'll go through this cycle one more time until they, you know, continue to do this. But new 5 Series, I think, is really cool. And then you just have a really nice daily driver with all of these characteristics to really set it up to the way that you like. So that is going to wrap it up for the all-new 2025 BMW M5. Once again, a huge shout out to Hendrick BMW in Northlake for providing the 5 Series for me today. Take a look at their website, give this video a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and consider smashing that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.